Until then, my name is Bo Grzeski. I'm the art teacher over at Blackwater Middle School, and kids and everyone there just calls me Mr. G. So if you want to call me that, you can do that. But basically, my whole presentation I'm going to do for you today is all about Gamestar Mechanic, where you can click on the little Gamestar link. I'll take it right there. And I grew up as a gamer in my house. I came around the age when the Nintendo Entertainment System was found on our Christmas tree as a little kid. So games have been in my life since I was a little kid. I still play video games now. I'm lucky I have a wife who wants to play with them with me. And I see there's a lot of potential to teach with video games. It could be a digital storytelling tool. It has a lot of STEM applications in it. And it can pretty much be whatever you want to do. So whatever project you're going to make for your class, let this be the overall product. You can do so much with it. I mean, I had my students make a video game for me that had tessellations in it. And I combined it with MC Escher, the math class. And, you know, there's so much you can do with it. So we're going to refer back to my site throughout the session. And if you could all just right now for me click on the little link right underneath it. This is Gamestar Mechanic. And this will take you to the main webpage. And what we're going to be able to do today is give you some time. You're going to be able to play some games when you're with me. You're going to learn about the aspects of video game design. And hopefully, as you have time, your kids will have the opportunity to make their own games. The whole website, it's set up where basically the kids have to go on a quest, and in that quest they have to play levels within the video game. For each level they beat, they unlock characters and things that they can use for their own video game in the near future. And so they're getting that instant gratification, they're getting a little prize, and they're actually learning about core design concepts of video game. And I try to make my kids do video game design. A couple years ago I used Scratch. Has anyone used Scratch here before? It's like programming. So some kids may get into it pretty easily. Others seem to have a hard time. What I like about this, as opposed to Scratch, where you just pretty much tell, I want my guy to go from point A to point B. You don't need any codes or anything like that. So while I'm going to have you guys create an account for me, and you're just going to click on that big yellow logo, get started, log in, and register free. And then you're going to go to sign up now. And you're going to start filling in all this stuff. I would heavily encourage you guys to start using usernames and passwords that you may use in other sites. That's one less thing you have to remember. Or what I like to do is I'll use one generic username, but I'll put my password in my phone as a contact. That way I can just keep referring to that, because it gets very mind-boggling, especially as a teacher using technology for details. So while you guys are registering, I'm going to show you this video that I made. It kind of shows you student samples. It gives you a rough idea of Gamestar Mechanic and what we can do with this. So just maybe you just pop your head up here a second or two. You can check out the video. I'll give you this site in a nutshell while you wrap up your registration.
Are you tired of doing the same boring thing on the computer? Maybe it's time you learned a little bit differently.
Take the game for tessellations for you mad nerds out there, where you can see all the games in it. Find to try and find a Jody's game.
So I told the kids whoever had the most hits would make up this like Talk Smack commercial, and they really got into that. And they made a game, and then they used their Facebook and Twitter accounts to promote it. The most hits.
Nobody matters, such as lyrics.
I play a game with a lot of hits, which means a lot of people like it, then play my game.
Not to mention the highly stylized game made by Savannah.
Really easy games that really stinks. You can play Eric's game. He won't play my games that really rocks. You can play my game.
You can also find these games by going to the Blackwater website and going on to Academics, Discovery, and then if once you're on the page, you can just click right here and you can get to play all the awesome games and check it out and everything. And of course, do not forget that all these students made their games by using GamestarMechanic.com, a free website where you can create your own game for absolutely free.
My game's so good, man, you want to slap your mom.
Check it out on GamestarMechanic.com.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. The kids got into it, and I gave them all a little prize for the kids that had the most hits. So is everyone in the account? So I'll log in that way you can kind of see something there. And we're going to be showing you a session later on using Edmodo. And what I did is that I created a link and I posted it for all my classes on Edmodo, and the kids have to click on it so that way they could join my class. As a regular member, you don't really have too much classroom management options with Gamestar Mechanic, but talk about student engagement. You kids are going to be sitting down, glued to this thing, playing video games, bragging to other people, but you got to be wary. Don't abuse it. Don't be that teacher that's going to sit in the back of the room and think that the video games are going to train your children. You want to have them learn stuff. So it's broken up by 3 areas. Your quest is where the students are going to be playing the video games and learn the video games. Why don't you guys click on Quest 2, and we can play our first video game together. And typically, if you have kids that like video games, they're probably big into this Japanese manga, Japanese comic book style too. So there's actually a story that you're playing throughout. It's not going to show up on my screen because I've already beat it, but each level has like a little comic book. You read the comic book and then you play the level. So the kids can be reading into it too. And you have 5 levels that you have to go through. Each level has a couple missions that you have to do on it. And as you complete them, you get stars or you get awards. So let's go to episode 1, mission 1. And if you have a kid that just starts clicking, they're going to miss all the important information. So I always have a student that runs right through this thing, and they never read. And I tell them, you got to go back, read the directions on the game, and tell you exactly what to do. So this is like your basic introduction to game design. You have your avatar, like you saw in the movie, that's somebody you're going to play as. In this case, it's this little skull-looking guy. Your goal is you want to reach this block, and you have to get these keys. So why don't you all play this level together? Play and you play low. Basically, you're going to use the up, down, left, right keys on your keyboard, and play low. And of course, to start you off, it's going to be really, really simple. But you're going to start coming into puzzles and mazes. So basically, your kids are going to be playing these games too, and some of they're going to want to beat that last game. They can't even make their own game until they beat all 5 levels of this thing first. So it's a good way to get you set up so that your students can learn about game design, think about how this could be a digital storytelling tool, how you can incorporate stems into your class, and a whole lot of bit of creativity and engagement. Yes, Mr. Ball. If you come up first and it tells you like a little comic book story, you're going to hit the little blue triangle. Yeah, and then you're going to pick your avatar. Do you want to be a boy or a girl? You're probably only Ron that video game. And then you go to play. Hit the play. And then you read the story. You don't have to read the story. You can skip through it if you like. And make sure you're all in your quest. Your quest is your story. So what's your username and password? Alright, so let's see if you can beat that first level. And I'll try some up other. You want to reach back to your course. And then you can just skip through it. Yeah, they're going to give you a little story. You can skip it by hitting the triangle with the line in front of it, or you can just hit the regular triangle. But basically,
Yeah, it's like a 2D. You want to see all that. Same thing.
okay. Hey, one of the things about game design, they teach you things about goals and rewards. So think about how our students react when you give them a short goal. And what I really like about this, they give you the information in like short, little, quick, attainable goals. And then when you see a kid struggle at a level really, really hard, they get so excited when they finally beat it. You can see like this glow of excitement on their face. And this really makes you feel good that you did something that they really like. And next level. And if you go onto my website, I have my Prezi lesson plan, and it has all of the info on it that you guys would ever need. Maybe get hurt. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see a lot of the things that you get to do with the game because you're still so early in your quest, but you will get more stuff as you play. Alright, the other things you can go to, your workshop. That's where you're going to keep track of badges and things like that. A badge is just basically this little award that the game people give you when you beat a level or you unlock a character. Again, think about that reward that we want to give our students. We give them a short little goal and they go for it. You can add your bio on here, your favorite games. You can get messages sent to and from your students. Like you can search through games that have been made from students all around the world and you can play them together. Like let's say this is one that I made. Wasn't too crazy about it. It actually has an Emoto link. So when you learn about Emoto later, all you have to do is click on that one little blue E and it automatically posts it to your classroom wall. And after a while, you can have all your students play the games and they can play each other's games, or you can embed it onto your website.
Now, I
Any
have a
questions?
question.
Yes.
You don't have to get approval, or you get in trouble for playing these games too much?
I was the one who got approval for this site. It was blocked, and I took it to HT Lee, and they all liked it, and yeah, so it's good to go. So don't worry. Tell Mr. G said it's okay. And this is my arcade that I made up, where I posted just about all my students' games as kind of like a culmination of all the work that they've done. They can check their work out.
Where is that? I'm sorry.
That is, if you click on, so you send the one link I sent you. Here's one where you all started, right? Just to let you know, this is my Prezi. This has my whole lesson plan. Gamestar Mechanic has a lot of teacher resources on there for you. And what I did is I took all their resources and I turned it into a Prezi. So if you want to do this in your class, feel free to copy and utilize my Prezi. And it goes through the whole steps. And basically I would create files with my students and talk about rules of the game, goals of the game, how is it similar to your work. We play regular games in class, like we'll play like musical chairs. And then I'll tell them, well, what's the basic rule of musical chairs? What if we modify that so that there was more students, far more students and less chairs? We talk about modifying rules, modifying games. As you get to play more levels on the Gamestar Mechanic site, you can start to edit the games that other people have made and be like, okay, this is how they made this block now. This is how they made this guy run so fast. I want to make him run slower. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see a lot of that today because you're just starting your quest. But I would encourage all of you in here to try this out at home, get all the way up to level 5. It won't take you very long. It's pretty simple. They have a couple puzzles and mazes in there that get a little frustrating. but you should definitely check it out. You can't publish your game or give much of your kids guidance until you yourself beat the 5th level. And I'm sorry, Mr. Ball, just to go back to that. So yeah, there's my Prezi. That has a whole lesson plan.
Where is that link?
This link is on your first Gamestar Mechanic link, right there.
Okay.
So once you click on that, you have the link to Gamestar. You have my Prezi, which allows you to spend about I got about 2 weeks worth of lesson plans in this Prezi. So you can use this if you like, and you can use it in any class. And this link at the bottom, Mr. Vaughn, that's where it takes you to my arcade and the commercial. That commercial is a game class. It's heavily inspired by 1980s BMX videos and Monsters of Rock and Roll, in case you want to watch that for fun. And if you go all the way down, right, where is it? Right up top, Mr. Vaughn. Mr. G's Games.blogspot.com. Right? And that's where I have all my students who play. And that was actually a big lifesaver when we were doing pass testing and all. A lot of the kids wrapped up early, and I was in the computer lab with them. I was like, well, why don't you guys play and make your own video games? And they loved it. They're so fixated by it. It's very, very, very addicting. They'll be bragging about it. You know, they may not know their reading score, their Lexile, but you know, they sure know that they're high chief on Call of Duty 5 or whatever they'll be doing that. So, hope this game. And so, all right, so the quest is where you're going to play. The workshop is where you're going to see your progress. And the game alley is going to be the games that are made by people all around the world. And again, these are other games. In my Prezi I sent you, I gave you some examples or links to games that are made by the official Gamestar Mechanic people, so you can learn about the problems and things like that. Search by popularity. And the site keeps evolving, and they're adding more stuff. This premium membership, that just means if you want to have more characters and levels, I think the kids were just as engaged by doing just the basic one. So, I believe that's Gamestar in a nutshell. And the whole social media aspect of it is that the kids are working together on these games. They can share the work that they do. And probably what helped my students a lot is that they put their work on their social media site, their Facebook, Twitter account. All you gotta do is copy that embed code or the link, and you can put that right on there. Anyone have any questions? I definitely encourage you guys all check it out. Feel free to use all my resources, copy them, modify them, do whatever you gotta do. And please don't forget to go back, hit the green check. And
just go back to the one that you have open already.
Oh.
If you click on the check now, it's going to create another one. We don't want to duplicate it. Just add to the list that you're already scrolling down, and then we'll submit it at the end of the session.
Gamestar Mechanic. And good luck, and I hope you guys visit with your kids. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to show you on there really quick. Basically, how to send the link to your class. But if you go down to the teachers on the bottom, they give you a little teachers tab. This gives you all those resources, and they have far more stuff than what I've done. I've just taken all their resources and turned it into a present. You have teacher resources. And this takes you step by step, whatever you want to do. And all broken up. Yeah, computers. And sorry, but they just updated their site, and I can't just easily find that link that lets you share your game or have kids join the class. Again, if anyone needs to use the restroom, right up down the hall.
Reminder about the program.
I'd like to see us one with tessellation, because that's what's
Honestly,
I doubt I have time for any of
it's
that.
going to be really easy. If you guys send me all those pieces, I just put it together and I'll just put it together and give it to you. And we don't really need our school videos in any specific order, because it's all just information. And then the first few slides just...
Okay, this is where it is in case you want to invite your class to your play your games. Make sure you go to workshop. And right underneath your classes, you can go to About My Institution. And you can send them that URL code, that way they can join your class.
And I was like, oh,
Sorry.
they did a good job. Okay.
So you go to workshop. This is how you get people to join your actual class. Go to workshop. Go under classes. And About My Institution. And then, like, I think with the account now, you're probably limited to about 100 accounts. When I signed up, they gave me 200, so I only have 21 left. But I got students that are no longer with me, so I can just remove their account and give that to someone else. Yep. You go to workshop.
You got it done. Because I haven't heard anything these days.
About My Institution. Once you go there, get your students started. Basically, I'll copy that. I'll go into Modo, or maybe I'll put it on my website and tell them click on this so you can join school.